Guys, welcome back to Team Death Slinger. My name is Peter, and today we're going to be looking at a version 1 BlackWarGreymon X deck profile. Version 1 is kind of built really well to support BlitzGreymon as a package. We have some new Greymon pieces, and I was thinking it'd be fun to just plop BlackWarGreymon on top and see what we can do. So, starting with our egg, 4 copies of EX9 Koromon. When attacking, this Digimon with face-down Digivolution cards may Digivolve into a version 1 trait Digimon card in the hand with the Digivolution cost reduced by 1. So this is just going to give us a nice way to Evo into something in the hand when we attack with a card with face-down sources. We're going to run 3 copies of the BT12 Agumon on player reveal top 4. Add 1 card with Greymon or Omnimon in its name and a Tamer card with Tai Kamiya in its name among them to your hand. You place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order, and then all turns inheritable gives you a 1k DP bonus on your Greymon or Omnimon. This slot is kind of a crapshoot. Whatever Agumon you like to fulfill your needs in the slot, I think works fine. Agumon X could work perfectly fine here. In fact, I'd probably recommend it if you really aren't worried about bricking on the not having 2 same level sources underneath it. I'd like being able to guarantee that I get the when Digivolving, and I'm running 4 Agumons, and you can see 4 Biyomons over there. So it just kind of feels sad sometimes when you have the Biyomon in the back and you can't Evo into the Agumon X, but it totally works in this slot, so run it if you like it. 4 copies of EX9 Agumon on player reveal top 3, among them add a card with the DM trait, and place 1 card with the version 1 trait face down as the bottom Digivolution card of any of your Digimon with the DM trait. Return the rest to the bottom of the deck, and then your turn, you get a 2k DP inheritable. Our last level 3 here is going to be 4 copies of the EX9 Biyomon has training, so in your main phase by suspending this Digimon, you can place your deck's top card face down as this Digimon's bottom Digivolution card, and you can also use this in the breeding area. Great turn 1 play is to go into any rookie with training. Make sure you activate that training effect, and then proceed with whatever you're going to do. This also gives the raid inheritable. It's kind of the big thing we get from the version 1 engine is access to easy raid for our BlackWarGreymon stacks. So we're going to run the Biyomon to try and guarantee that we have some raid consistency between this and there's a Tuskmon down there that you can see. So for our level 4s, 1 copy of the restricted Greymon X Antibody. When this Digimon would Digivolve into a card with Greymon in its name, reduce the cost by 1 for each of that card's colors. So going into our 2-color MetalGreymons, we're going to be able to reduce the Evo cost by 2. And then all turns when this Digimon with Greymon or Omnimon in its name would be deleted or returned to your hand or deck by an effect by placing an X Antibody from this Digimon's Digivolution cards at the bottom of its owner's deck. You prevent that Digimon from leaving play. So if we have Proto form in our stack or the regular X Antibody, but we are running Proto form, we're going to be able to put it at the bottom of our deck to prevent that card from leaving play. We are also going to run 3 copies of the Greymon X Antibody. I'm only running 3 because running 4 just kind of gives you this awkward 1 card slot that you have to fill in a level 4 for. So it's more pleasing to me to do 3 copies of this, 1 copy of Greymon X, and then the 2 copies of Tuskmon you see there. But this kind of doubles up on our protected effects. We can remove 2 same level sources from our stack to guarantee protection on our Digimon. We're going to run 4 copies of the EX9 Greymon has training as well. When attacking once per turn by placing your deck's top card face down as this Digimon's bottom Digivolution card, this Digimon gets 1k DP for each of its face down Digivolution cards until your turn ends, and then we have a 2k DP inheritable on our turn, just like the Agumon. This is great for getting the face down sources underneath our stack, just like the Agumon. Especially if we're going to keep this in the back more often than not, you're going to be trying to get one of your DM trait Digimon to be set up in the back so that you can promote and then do something, and then Evo into the X Antibody card so that you're not starting your turn with a card that does not have the DM trait in its sources. We are also going to run the 2 copies of Tuskmon. I think this card's super underrated. When Digivolving, when attacking by placing 1 card in your hand, face down is this Digimon's bottom Digivolution card. Delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 4k DP or less, and also has the raid inheritable. So we have 6 instances of the raid inheritable. Hopefully you will see it in your stack at some level or another. But this is just to make sure that we can get that raid on our level 6. For our level 5s, 4 copies of the BT11 MetalGreymon X Antibody. Evos on a red or black level 4 or for 1 on MetalGreymon. When Digivolving until the end of your opponent's turn, this Digimon can't have its DP reduced by your opponent's effects and isn't affected by de-Digivolve. Then if MetalGreymon or X Antibody is in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, you delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 6k DP or less. Fantastic effect, gives us a little bit of protection and lets us pop a body. The inheritable also says when an opponent's turn, when a Digimon becomes unsuspended, if this Digimon has Greymon or Omnimon in its name, trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. We're going to have reboot on our BlackWarGreymon X, and we're going to be able to have reboot on our regular BlackWarGreymon or our Omnimons because the analog youth will be able to give anything with face down sources reboot. So this inheritable is going to be fantastic for our top end overall, making sure we can trash the opponent's security on their turn. We're going to run 4 copies of the new MetalGreymon from EX9. When this card would be played by trashing a card with Cyborg or version 1, you can reduce the play cost by 2, so you can hard slam this for 5. But on play when Digivolving by placing 1 Digimon card from your hand, from your trash face down as this Digimon's bottom Digivolution card. Delete up to 5k DP total of your opponent's Digimon. For each of this Digimon's face down sources, add 2k to this effect's DP maximum. It really only takes the one source for this to be a really nice 7k deletion threshold. Anything more is just gravy. You're probably hitting level 5s at that 7k threshold anyways, and this gives us a nice security +1 inheritable, so that our BlackWarGreymon is going to be swinging in for 2 checks. Hopefully, we can raid into something if we need to, and then we're going to be able to trash the security when we unsuspend due to the MetalGreymon X Antibody inheritable. Level 6s, we've been talking about it, but we've got BlackWarGreymon. I'm just going to start with the regular BlackWarGreymon. From BT8, when Digivolving, if this Digimon has a red Digivolution card, choose any number of your opponent's Digimon. If this Digimon has a black Digivolution card, you get to choose any number of your opponent's Tamers, then the chosen cards. Play cost must add up to 6, and you delete those cards. More often than not, I use this just to pop Tamers. The 6 cost doesn't really do much in terms of Digimon. You're really only going to be hitting a rookie or a champion, but you get so much more value out of hitting the Tamers with this effect. And then all turns, when an opponent's Digimon is deleted, you may unsuspend this Digimon. So if we do raid into something rather than swinging straight into security, we can unsuspend and then swing in our 2 checks with that MetalGreymon inheritable. We're going to run the 3 copies of BlackWarGreymon X. Has reboot evos for 2 on BlackWarGreymon, which is why this is such a fantastic protoform target. We can get into this for 1 on top of the BlackWarGreymon. Opponent's turn, when your opponent's Digimon with the highest DP attacks, you may switch the target of attack to this Digimon, so we can force the opponent to swing into our BlackWarGreymon X. And then opponent's turn, when a Digimon becomes unsuspended, if this Digimon has BlackWarGreymon or X Antibody in its sources, you may delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest play cost. So this is just going to make sure that when we unsuspend on the opponent's turn, we're going to get to trash a security with the MetalGreymon X Antibody, and then we're going to get to pop their lowest play cost body, keeps their board trim, and then we get the redirect to hopefully force them to crash into something later. We are going to run the 1 copy of Omnimon X Antibody. Has Raid, Piercing, Blocker. On play when Digivolving, if Omnimon or X Antibody is in this Digimon sources, hopefully X Antibody should be, choose one of both players' Digimon and delete all other Digimon. Then return one of your opponent's Digimon to the bottom of the deck. So hopefully at the end of this effect resolving, just the Omnimon X should be left on the board. And end of your turn, one of your Digimon may gain rush for the turn and attack without suspending. So this is coming in. If he sticks on the board, he's a Raid, Piercing, Blocker. He is just a pain to deal with, and he is a nice level 7 to be running in the deck. We are going to run 4 copies of Meat from EX9. If we're running the version 1 engine, we might as well run Meat over a training. When you have a DM trait Digimon or Tamer on the field, you can ignore this card's color requirements. For 2 memory, you're going to draw a card, place this in the battle area, and then as a delay effect, by placing a card from your hand face down as any of your DM trait Digimon's bottom sources, it can evo into a DM trait card in the hand with the cost reduced by 2. So this is going to give us a nice reduced cost evo as long as we have a DM trait Digimon to evo from. So this is kind of most effective if you have something like Tuskmon or Greymon. If you don't have the X Antibody pieces in hand, you can get into the MetalGreymon for reduced cost if you promote one of these rookies. Kind of part of the reason I didn't want to run Agumon X, promoting the rookies with the Meat play set up. You can just guarantee that you get into the Greymon or the Tuskmon for free and then go from there. We're going to run 2 copies of the X Antibody Protoform. I just kind of like this the best. I like it over X Antibody because it does cost 2 to get into BlackWarGreymon, and I also like it because it makes the Omnimon X Antibody evo cheaper. Even if you can evo into this while swinging, I don't really love paying 6 memory to get into the Omni X, so the Protoform feels a little bit better. We're also not running the really traditional BlackWarGreymon DP boosting on the opponent's turn, so this is a little bit easier to remove. And the Protoform is going to give us a little bit of insurance in the form of this going into security, and then you being able to grab a piece back from underneath your BlackWarGreymon stack. For our Tamer suite, we do have quite a few of them. 3 copies of the BT12 Tai Kamiya, start of your main phase, and on play, one of your Digimon with Agumon or Greymon in its name gets 1k DP and gains blocker until the end of your opponent's turn. This is going to be a really important Tamer to get down. Also part of the reason we're running the Searcher Agumon that finds Tai Kamiyas, because this is going to buff up our BlackWarGreymon X Antibody with the redirect and also give it blocker. Your turn, when one of your opponent's Digimon, when one of your Digimon digivolves into a Digimon with Greymon or Omnimon in its name by suspending this Tamer, gain 1 memory. Just tons of memory to be had with this Tamer, especially if you're stacking them up. 2 copies of the ST15 Tai Kamiya. It's a memory setter, and when an attack target is switched by suspending this Tamer, you draw 1, and one of your Digimon gets 2k DP until the end of the turn. So between these 2, you can get a 3k buff on the opponent's turn. Makes BlackWarGreymon X Antibody 16k, which is a little bit harder to get over than just a vanilla 13k. We're also going to run the 3 copies of Analog Youth. Start of your main phase, you may place 1 card from your hand face down as any of your DM trait Digimon's bottom source, and then when face down cards are placed as any of your Digimon sources, By suspending this Tamer, gain 1 memory. Then if you have 7 or fewer cards in your hand, you draw 1. Great setup card, as long as we can set up one of these DM trait Digimon in the back and then promote it. This is an excellent Tamer to gain us memory, draws cards, and it gives all of our Digimon with face down sources reboot on the opponent's turn. So this BlackWarGreymon, as well as this Omnimon X, are going to be able to have reboot because they are going to have face down sources from all of these effects in the bottom end of the deck. So that's what we're doing with version 1 BlackWarGreymon in EX9. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What are you doing with version 1? Are you just playing Alter S? Are you playing a DNA Omni deck? Or is there another red-black level 6 like Biyomon that you're putting on top of this core? That's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day.
Thank you to our channel members for supporting this channel. It's people like Langlong, Big Z11, Coffee Deus, and DigiDane who make videos like this possible.